fact, I will tell you, as I dismounted from my horse to come and greet you this day, I took off my riding boots to put on my shoes, and I found myself rather rumpled and crumpled from the journey, a bit dusty. I'm sorry to say I was conjuring up an apology to apologize for my peculiar accoutrement until I walked amongst you, just turned about and gazed upon you, and I don't know why I should apologize for the way I am dressed here this day. I've always believed in dressing for comfort, but you overwhelm me in that regard. And now perhaps I am the overdressed, the more so amongst all of you, in what has become quite the modern fashion of a cut of a gentleman's suit of clothes, has it not, since the turn of the century? These last several years, men have more gradually cut away their old frock coats. The frocks were so very popular before, during, after the American Revolution. Well, they are now old-fashioned. Gentlemen have cut away the points of their waistcoats and the old tri-corner hat. Remember how fashionable that used to be before, during, after the American Revolution. That is considered old-fashioned. And they say gentlemen are beginning now to sport top hats, taking on a rather rigid style. But as you can see, I still am somewhat old-fashioned. I still enjoy wearing breeches. Very comfortable in my breeches, particularly in the saddle, and I am never a day out of the saddle. And, well, gentlemen, I doubt we can ever forget, can we, when we received our first pair of breeches at the age of 7 years. My, we thought we had become a man overnight to wear breeches like our fathers, and to no longer have to suffer wearing dresses like our sisters. You remember that? Young boys wore dresses through 6 years of age. Well, happily, some fashions and styles do change, and rapidly so. And lest you think that your chief magistrate has lost his mind to ruminate upon fashion and style, well, consider how it occupies our conversation. That we are preoccupied with fashion and style, even in the worst of times. I do not ignore it, and perhaps you've read that I have often said, when it comes to fashion, well, swim with the current. But I hope you've read as well that I have often said, when it comes to principle, stand like a rock. And that we have. These last 31 years of the independency of these United States of America. Is it not amazing we have lasted so long? Oh, many thought we would not, particularly our old enemy, England. They looked for our demise every day. But we are a remarkable people. We are a remarkable breed. And I think that is one of the first, if not foremost, principles of the American citizenry and our nation. The fact, and how well I remember, that even before our revolution began, we were becoming a different people, though we were governed by one particular royal family, generation after generation, though we were governed by their particular parliament, one half of which is hereditary as well, and though we were governed by their particular church. Well, I ask you, was it only the Englishman who was seeking an asylum here in North America? Who else was coming here?
The Catholic?
Germans, absolutely, from the many kingdoms of the Germanies. And have they not proved to be our most industrious farmers? In fact, as we meet here this year, 1807, the predominant population in Pennsylvania remains German. Others?
Dutch?
Who else? The Spaniards. They were here well before anyone else, were they not? I heard someone make mention of the French, the mortal enemy of England, seeking an asylum here, and how well I recall. During the war with France and the Indians, there were many peaceable French settlements throughout these parts and down in Virginia. We know as well many subjects of the kingdoms of the Italies came here to settle from the earliest times. Some from the Orient, some from the Russians, the Hebrews, seeking a new promised land here in North America. And I would like to ask, who can ignore the African? We cannot deny that, yes, the majority were brought here against their will, but we cannot ignore the fact that they have been settled here from the earliest days with everybody else. And how proud I am to recollect and pronounce that though we were governed by one particular monarchy for many generations before our American Revolution, we were becoming the less and less British and the more and more self-evident, is it not? Indeed, a remarkable breed known as American. And when does that end? Never, thank you, sir, boldly said.